AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Survivor After Show.
What's up, Survivor fanatics? Did I say fanatics?
You said
Survivor fanatics. Say that 5 times fast. I'm your host, AJ Gibson, here at AFTERBUZZ Studios in sunny Los Angeles, California. This is Survivor Season 26, Episode 8, Blindside Time. We're at the merge, you guys. It's a big episode. We're excited. Here to join me tonight, we've got Justin Walter and the lovely Jerri Manthey, also known as Brave. We're just going to call her Brave for the night. She's got that big, brave, curly hair. I love it.
It's pretty wild today.
So somebody actually called you Brave at the grocery store. Please share.
Yeah. I was just standing in line minding my own business, and this woman came up to me. She's like, I just got to tell you this. Like, you just remind me of that movie Brave so much. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
I love the wily hair. I think it looks great
I'm
tonight.
usually not used to Jerri sitting next to me, so this is going to be an interesting,
I've got so much space
fun
tonight.
night.
I know.
I feel like there might be some trouble.
Well,
She's too close.
Trouble is her middle name, if you didn't know. Ryan's out tonight, but he will be back next week. Also this weekend.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Really?
I know, right?
I don't know. That's what he keeps saying.
How many weeks in a row can we say that?
Yeah, come on, Ryan.
Also, sorry about the nasal congestion. The allergy season is terrible.
That's why I'm sitting on this side.
Allergies are not contagious,
we
Jerri.
sound clear over here.
I want snot on me.
Not me. Did she just say I'm snotty?
Oh,
A little bit.
hidden
snotty.
Freudian slip.
Right. So let's talk about this episode. Like we
Do
said,
we have to?
I know. I actually thought this episode was kind of good.
Finally.
No.
I know.
It was.
This is the part. I always say the point in the season where I start to enjoy it. It's usually around the merge. The first half of the season is always so slow, and we've just gotten rid of so many of the fans. It's just like it feels like
Watch it now.
Yeah, it feels like an all-star season now. I mean, in all honesty. But this episode.
Well, people are finally playing the game, thank God, except Brenda. We still don't know who she is.
But her knee's wrapped up. So Sandra was right. She called it last week. She said she thought she was limping, and then we saw as actually they're about to merge. We see her on the boat with a wrap on her knee.
Bandage all over that
But
knee.
they don't show her knee in any other scene, so you had to be really paying attention to catch that.
Yeah.
They're really trying to hide that.
They're hiding her knee and her in general, so it doesn't really matter.
She's hiding herself.
She's laying low.
She didn't say one word again.
I'm banking on her. Like,
All we get is B-roll of her.
Yeah.
Just shots of her looking pretty.
Well, she's a good example of someone who can fly under the radar and not win.
Yeah, right.
No one's gonna vote for her
She's
to
the
win.
ultimate floater that just keeps on floating right on out of the
It's
game.
like a bad piece of poo.
What happened to
A
her?
bad piece of poo. Brenda is a bad piece of poo. I do not.
Wow.
I don't agree.
An
one
unhealthy poo. Those float.
bit. Yeah. Wow, you guys. Jerri, you are casting gold. I see why you've been on the show 3 times now. So lucky to have you. I love your insight. So this episode opens up just like every other episode with Phillip. Phillip. He's talking to Dawn and Corinne, and he tells them that he threw the challenge.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. What do we feel about?
Well, I love the fact that Corinne said absolutely nothing, but in her side interview, again, she gave us what she was really thinking, which was, as much as I want to punch him in the face and tell him what I really think, she kept her mouth shut. So.
Well, she's thinking what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
He's nuts.
Well, she's done it for how many days has it been now?
22 days.
22 days. She's played a smart game up to this point and keeping things to herself when she needs to. Well, we'll talk about that.
Until the wheels come off.
Until the wheels came off tonight.
We kept trying to. I kept saying, what would we call her? I was calling her like Jerri 2.0 or whatever, but it's actually like Jerri like negative 2.0. Like Jerri would never make these mistakes that Corinne makes later in the episode.
Yeah.
No, you don't. I mean, it's bad enough to try to make a move too early in the game just because you really don't like somebody. That's always that usually bites you in the butt. But then to actually foreshadow what you think should happen after you make this other move.
When you've already got this vote in the bag,
That's
if you
so
just kept your mouth shut.
Yeah.
All right, we're not there yet, but we'll get there soon enough. Now let's move on to Dawn. Dawn's crying again. She's paranoid. She goes into a sob story. She's menopausal. She goes into a sob story about how she has 6 kids and this $1 million would really change her life.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
6 kids.
Yeah, no, I remember that from her first season because she came on her first season as the Mormon mom, and even in her backstory, Dawn before Survivor, if I remember correctly, she was not as in good shape as she is. She like trained and spent a lot of her time prepping for the first season she was on Survivor to get in good shape, to lose weight, to become healthy, and really make that a big part of her life. And so that mother role, that kind of like sob story, it's not really a sob story, I don't think. I think she's just overly emotional.
Well, she's had a lot of hormonal ups and downs with 6 kids.
I'm sure. I can't even imagine.
But what I like too was when she talked about how you could see how she was torn emotionally because she was having flashbacks to her first season. Now, Jerri, I don't know when you get to that point where you got to the first season when you're playing again. I don't know how that involves emotions, but she was emotionally torn and kind of, this is where I got last time and didn't make a move. I need to play the game differently this time. There was this sound bite of her that was like, that is almost what we could see in the finale when she wins the check.
Exactly. I thought the same thing.
Like that moment was like, seeing her say this right now is a flashback that I could see in the finale of Dawn winning the $1 million.
Which is interesting because she's not. I love Dawn, and we actually had her as a guest over the phone, I think, last year, and I met her at their finale, whatever season that. What season was she?
She was.
I get them all so confused.
A couple of seasons ago.
But
I'm drawing a blank right now.
Wait,
I skipped that season, so I don't know.
Was she the season that the really boring girl won? Sorry, Survivor fans.
She was with Cochran.
What was it? But who won her season?
I skipped that season.
It was the girl that was really awful and boring.
Wasn't that the one Coach was on?
Oh, Sophie.
Yeah. Oh, the worst.
No, she wasn't.
Was that season? She was a season later.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm on the spot.
Really?
Yeah.
You are so
I'm
good.
off tonight, guys.
He can tell you everything on Earth about season 2, 3, 4.
I'm off tonight right now.
No, it'll come back to you. It'll come back to you. But the thing is, like, I really like Dawn. I would not have picked her as one of my top 3 going into this season. I really like her personally. I wish that she would just play because it's almost like she's doing the Lisa Whelchel thing a little bit where she's crying. I'm afraid to make moves. I'm afraid to make moves, but she's making moves. She's talking to people. She's sharing information. She's doing these things. But I feel like she almost has to say it out loud to get it out, because she has a guilty conscience. She knew later in the episode, but she knew when she went and stabbed Corinne in the back, that she knew what she was doing, but she has to say it in her confessionals to get it off her conscience, I feel like.
I think it was more kind of just like, yeah, maybe she's talking through it in her confessionals, but even if she's doing what's different than Lisa, is she actually did it this time, you know? She actually made the move.
Yeah.
And I guess if you make that realization in your confessional, that's part of the game.
Yeah. I feel like
it's the best place to let loose because otherwise there's a lot of ramifications from what you say in the moment, in the heat of the moment. Whatever. Well, I mean, I personally would love to see Dawn win. I with 6 kids, that right there won me over. I was like, I'd rather see her win than the cocky Malcolm.
Yeah, true. True. He is getting pretty cocky.
He's way too cocky right now. I'm over him.
What I'm curious though is how safe is the confessional really? Because I mean, in those side interviews, when you've got producers who, and I've heard these stories from so many survivors that then you're kind of getting led in a certain direction to those interviews sometimes, and how safe do you really actually feel? And do you ever say things that you kind of hope that producer might repeat to somebody else to get in their head? Is there that? Are you still playing the game when you're in those interviews?
Technically, no. It's supposed to be 100% private and, confidential.
But producers are human.
Exactly. There have been mistakes made, and then usually they try to fix them pretty quick. Yeah. But I don't know. I personally used those moments to just unleash the beast.
For the most part, they're pretty legit.
Yeah, and I'm always very well aware when they're trying to lead me down a certain path, to follow a certain thing, trying to get me to say something specifically. I almost rebel against that now because I'm like, I don't want you to, make something look a certain way. I'm just going to tell you how I feel.
And in all fairness, they could be, knowing your character and who you are, they could be trying to lead you away so that you actually will rebel. So you might actually be doing exactly what they expect you to do. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't think anybody ever put that much thought into it.
But where else, when you're obviously surrounded by the players and you can trust them to a certain extent, but it seems like it's almost like therapy in a way, where that's like that's where you get to kind of think things out. And I think clearly we saw that. We've seen that with bigger characters like Lisa, and I like that we're seeing that with Dawn. I like that she this time around, you know, this is the point last season where not last season, where her first season with Cochran flipped and screwed her game over, screwed everything up for her. So this is kind of
we have a caller.
Oh.
We have a caller. Who do we have on the line? This is AJ with Survivor.
Rough.
And who do I have on the line?
Hello.
Hello. This is AJ. Who do I have?
Hi, this is Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Well, how are you guys doing?
Oh, we're good.
We're great. How are you? Are you a fan of Survivor?
Oh, I'm a big fan of Survivor.
Yeah.
What did you think about tonight's episode?
Oh my God, I have a lot of things to say.
Well, you give us two things. You get to pick two things you want to talk about. Number one.
Drink some caffeine first. Wake up.
I think that Phillip is playing the worst game ever.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Like, honestly, he's like loco right now. I mean, like he thinks he's like commander. Like, no.
Well, he kind of is. I mean, whether we want to admit it or not, he is kind of in charge right now.
Were you a fan of Phillip the first time he played?
No, not at all.
Yeah, me either. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if his gameplay is actually going to get him very far. Because right now, I mean, he's in a strong position after this episode. But the thing is, nobody really likes him. I feel like he's kind of a Russell Hantz type of character right now. No, where he could go far though, and nobody likes him.
Yeah, he'll never win. He probably could get in very far.
Yeah, in that respect.
Well, not with Corinne gone.
Yeah. What's your other topic? What else do you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, with the whole Phillip thing, I feel like it's just the first time he played, he's playing the exact same way as before. It's like, why are you doing the same strategy? If you get to the end, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
You're not going to win with that strategy of just pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
And just, like, does he honestly think that he's going to win with that strategy?
Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't win the first time. Like, no.
Well, he's delusional, so he probably does think he's going to win.
I feel like Phillip's trying to get it like a spin-off show. Honestly, I feel like there's no way on earth you could think this is a winning strategy. And that worked for Russell Hantz. He got a spin-off.
I disagree. I think Phillip thinks he's playing the Boston Rob game. How many times did we hear him say Boston Rob tonight? And I think he thinks he's perfecting that. I think in his mind he thinks that's what he's doing, but clearly he's not.
And we need a drinking game. Every time he refers to Boston Rob, we should drink.
Yeah.
He thinks, what makes me angry is that he thinks he's Boston Rob. He's like, oh, I go to sleep and I think of that I'm Boston Rob.
Yeah.
I think of Andrea.
Yeah, he's a frustrating.
Go to sleep like you're Boston Rob. Like, no, don't be the Phillip that we know, but it's just like he's like you.
Yeah,
like,
Phillip.
Don't be the Phillip that everybody like hates.
He's an annoying character to say the least. Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite competitor? This season.
That would be Dawn.
You like Dawn? Yeah, we do too.
After what she said about her 6 kids, and she's like, "Oh, they can go to college and all," that's what made me love her even more. I wanted her to win from the first time, like the day that she stepped on the beach. I wanted her to win, and after she was just like, "Oh, I want to spend this on my kids to go to college," I'm like, Dawn, I love you.
That's pretty cool, but in the game Survivor, that could be a great thing or it could be a really bad thing. Kind of depends who you get on the jury, and that could really help her to the end. Or that could also make people not take her to the end.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't. Malcolm's smart enough. Malcolm won't take her to the end.
As long as she doesn't share that information with everyone else in the game, I think she'll be all right. But it's a great thing to share at Final Tribal Council. Hey, if you give me $1 million, you'll be feeding my 6 kids.
It's interesting, though. I don't think people vote a lot of times for that sort of stuff anymore. I think people vote for who plays the game. And I think what I like about Dawn is even though she has that tidbit, which could help her a little bit.
It would definitely help.
It would help. I think, though, that she can now start recalling back to moves she made in the season starting tonight.
Yeah, I feel like people vote. I feel like there's such a respect for the game at this point that people tend to vote based on that. However, to get to the final 2 or 3 anymore, you have to be a genius at this game. You have to be so good and also really.
No, I'm gonna have to interject here. Sometimes you just have to be lucky.
Yeah.
Well, that's
true.
all
But
for some people.
But those people aren't going to.
You're thinking Sophie.
Exactly, but those people are never going to get votes, though. She could get 1 vote based on her kids and her sob story, and that 1 vote could be enough. when it comes down to it. Last season was a pretty close season. There were 3 or 4 competitors at the very end of the season that all could have really won it. That could happen again this year.
But you look last season, Lisa Welshaw had that story, and people didn't vote for her because of the story. They voted for Denise because she played the game.
Yeah, but Lisa's also, people still look at her and they think, you're a celebrity. Yeah. You must assume that she's still got stockpiles of cash that she may or may not have anymore. And she's had this experience, great. She's already been on TV been a celebrity for all these years. I don't think that really helped her very much.
Well, nobody really knew until Penner outed her, which was really
true.
I want to get a hold of Penner. Penner, if you're listening, I really want to reach out and talk to you, please.
Penner's great.
I got a few things I want to talk to you about.
One thing I want to say about Penner is that he's so freaking annoying. Like everybody last season was just like cracking up at all his jokes, but it was funny the first 2 times. After that, I'm just like, Penner, nobody wants to hear you.
I disagree with you, Tyler. I like Penner.
He's so bitter.
I agree. He was so bitter last season.
No, I liked him until the final tribal council. Then I was I want to meet Penner went to
that was bitter.
But I still want to talk to you, Penner, if you're out there.
Well, Tyler, I want to thank you so much for calling in. Please keep watching and watch every week. Tell your friends about us, all right? Take care, buddy.
Call back. Thanks, Tyler. Call back.
Bye.
All right.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. Tyler's a big fan. Obviously, he does need to drink a coffee or something.
Yeah.
You guys, it's so nerve-wracked to call us
Maybe he's on the East. Maybe he's on the East Coast.
But no, I mean, you are
so afraid to ruffle feathers.
No. I used to be one of the I used to call the Survivor used to do a Survivor after show when I was in college.
Well, they do again now.
Well, they do now with Poverty, and then they did one with the guy, the comic guy from last year.
Who are you? You're falling apart.
I'm falling apart. But I used to be one of those callers. I used to call in the Survivor after show. I remember when Richard Hatch used to host it and all that sort of stuff. And as a fan, you get kind of like a little nervous sometimes calling it.
You know what's so funny? I give
him credit.
I was at an event this weekend out of town, and randomly this guy walks up to me. He goes, "You do AfterBuzz, don't you?" He's like, "I see you on AfterBuzz. I watch all of your shows." I was like, "Really? Like, how do you just recognize out of thousands of people?" He just walked up to me out of the blue.
You're huge in Europe.
Apparently, I have tens and tens and tens of fans. That equals roughly 30. Cool. So everybody loves Dawn. We can all agree with this. Everyone loves Dawn. Tyler loves Dawn. We love Dawn.
Mm-hmm. We're everybody.
Sure, everybody doesn't, but on this panel.
That's 4.
On this
I don't know what Ryan thinks because he doesn't show up, but whatever.
Ryan.
So, the merge, it finally happens. This boat pulls up to the Gota camp, and they all come together. There's hugs. Everybody's happy. It's basically just a reunion of all the favorites because that's basically what's left.
Dawn plays mom and makes sandwiches.
Makes sandwiches for everyone.
Cuts the cheese.
She cuts the cheese, literally.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. It was awkward.
Who said that?
Michael.
Michael, yeah.
I was like, awkward. I'm not sure.
He's trying to get some airtime. It's okay.
Well, he got more than Brenda.
Everybody
got. That boat got more in that one scene than Brenda's gotten all season.
Pardon me while I drink 2 cups at one time.
Oh, jeez.
Jerry's thirsty.
I'm kidding. I'm dying of thirst.
So they instantly get their new tribe color is green now. It's like a lime green.
We have not seen green in a while.
We haven't seen green in a while, right? Yeah. And the tribe name is Enil Edam.
Because of Malcolm.
Well, Malcolm says it means new beginnings or something in some language, their native language, but it really is his mother's name backwards. Madeline backwards, right?
Okay, that might be the most annoying name ever in the history of Survivor, and for one of the most annoying, egotistical, narcissistic reasons I've ever heard.
I cannot agree with you because I kind of love Malcolm. He's a little bit annoying the last couple episodes. He's a little bit too cocky for me.
He's got a lot cocky.
If I had the chance to pull one over on everyone and name the tribe after my mom or something, I think that's kind of cute.
My mom would be honored.
Yeah, I think that's kind of cute. And he's kind of witty, and that's kind of like, if they're all too stupid to figure that out, then that's on them.
Well, how are they going to figure it out?
Well, it doesn't hurt anybody.
If you just maybe they get drunk at another reward and see the sign backwards if they collapse it out or something.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Somebody wins a mirror.
But I think
that's good.
They stand in front of the flag.
I think Brave made it funny. That was a good one. That was hilarious. Actually.
But it's been interesting seeing the kind of the development of Malcolm into a cocky player.
Yeah.
Like in kind of just the sense of you would think, coming onto the season as the one favorite who nobody knows, he was smart, he laid low, he laid the groundwork for, a future plan. but then he just got super cocky.
Well, here's the
Super
thing.
cocky.
I feel like Malcolm's like, he made it to the end last season, and then he just laid out on the beach and waited for the next group to come through. Like, oh, let's try it again. Line him up. Let's try it one more time. I feel like at this point, he's like, screw it. What do I have to lose?
But the one thing I think, too, is he's cocky in his confessionals again, whereas I would bet everyone on the beach would say he's the sweetest guy, he's so nice, he's your pal. Like Lisa last season said, Malcolm's the guy who will stab you in the back and be there with flowers at your hospital the next day. Yeah. And you'll still love him.
But she said it with a smile, too, because she did still love him.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about him. Like, he's likable. And he's kind of like Cochran, though, because Cochran, in all fairness, is playing a very similar game.
Very good
He's
game.
talking some shit right now in his confessionals, and he's pretty cocky as well. He is outwardly cocky. When he won, later on, but when he won that immunity, he was very proud. Obviously, it was his first one. It was a cool moment. But, like, he was pretty cocky about it in front of everybody. And they're all like, well, that's Cochran. We're happy for him.
Which shows you right there that he is in such good standing in terms of relationships on the tribe.
Because Malcolm even said, that he's like, I still like him.
He could win. Cochran could totally win because everybody likes him, and he's funny, he's entertaining, he doesn't seem threatening at all whatsoever.
And that's the thing, it's so funny when certain competitors like that come on these reality shows. I mentioned Ian from Big Brother last season. Same sort of story if you guys are Big Brother fans at all. I like to stick with the CBS reality shows. But but same sort of thing. It's like one of the things, it's like, you know they're a threat. You look at it, you see it all day, every day, but for some reason you're not threatened. It's because and he just won the first individual immunity. Well, obviously the guy's a threat.
It's when
it comes to eating.
Well, true.
Well, and it's also, you look at it, it's like just disarming physically from a standpoint of he's not the most athletic, he's not that. Whereas you look at a Reynold or an Eddie, and it's like right away threat. Cochran will never have that threat attached to him, which is perfect in the game of Survivor. When you can stay in that long, be there now at this point where you're physically not a threat.
That's why I feel like if you can go on the show and either be a nerd, a gay guy, or like a middle-aged mother, like you're golden. I feel like
you don't have the threat target on your back.
No, because I go in there in a heartbeat like I'm just a gay guy, hey, and be friends with the girls and do that. But I could kick those guys' asses.
But you though physically though, when people look, you're so tall, you're a big guy. Just from the fact, I didn't say you're strong. I did not say you're strong. I just said your height alone makes you kind intimidating.
No, you're right. I am strong. I'm pretty tough.
And Colton is a bad example to use in that case because he was.
Well, Colton's an outlier in every sense of the word. Colton was actually really sweet. We had him on last year and talked to him a little bit, and he's actually a sweetheart. Poor guy just went out there and made himself look.
He is now.
Exactly.
He probably learned a lesson, I would hope.
But maybe some of us have been on reality shows, learned lessons after we saw ourselves the first season. Yes, Jerri. And we went out there and played a different game. I never got the opportunity. I'm still an ass, but whatever. So we're moving on. We've got the new tribe named Enil Edam. I've got some weird sound in my ears right now. It's driving me crazy.
It's the AFTERBUZZ.
Yeah,
there's some buzzing going on.
I don't like that. Quick story, I had a hornet stuck in my ear one time when I was about 14 years old, and they had to call the ambulance, and I was deaf in my left ear for about 2 weeks.
Oh.
Did it sting your ear?
Yes, hundreds of times. My ear swelled shut.
Terrible.
I was working in a swimming pool as a kid, raising money for my life.
Millions of times.
Probably, I don't know. It bit me or something. I don't know. So I get terrified when I hear that sound.
Oh, God. All right.
PTSD.
Yes.
AJ's about ready to hit the floor.
Well, AJ's walking out right now.
Right. See you guys. Boom. Anyways, Phillip. Back to Phillip. So he's talking to Andrea, and of course brings up Boston Rob again. Again and again and again. Every 15 minutes or so on the show, it's always back to Boston Rob. And it drives me crazy because, one, Phillip isn't Boston Rob. Two, Boston Rob's season was tailored for Boston Rob. This season, I feel like it's tailored for any one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I don't feel like this season is about Phillip. He's making it about himself, but I don't feel like it was tailor-made for him like he thinks it was. I feel like he went out there thinking, oh, they're doing for me what they did for Boston Rob. CBS is going to try to get me this season. I feel like he really thinks that in his head, and that's how he's playing the game. Like, I can do no wrong. Whatever choices I make, I'm going to, like when he was trying to talk to Andrea, and she was like, okay, well, and again with Corinne, it was with Corinne he was talking to, and she was trying to be like, well, let's try this. He's like, no. We're doing it this way, period. And everybody just follows suit. Why is that, do you think? Nobody likes him, but they still stick with him.
He's easy to win against in the end. I mean, people are starting to play a longer game because they're the merge, and they're all thinking, okay, final three. Like, that's something you start talking about almost
Don't you think they would
one.
think the same thing about Corinne, though? I feel like he could beat her in the... No?
But I think here's the thing. I think with Phillip, the core alliance is Andrea, Cochran, Dawn, and Phillip. I think that's like the kind of the core four. they're the running the show. They're the ones who have the periphery alliance.
Okay, then here's a question: why would Corinne go to Dawn?
That's what I don't understand. I think Corinne made a huge mistake. Corinne didn't realize, it seems like, that Cochran and Andrea and Dawn are so tight, and with Phillip too.
How could she not realize?
I don't know.
She's been living on the beach with them. I don't get it.
I feel like, and I understand this because it's really hard for me to like bite my tongue always, all day, every day. I feel like she probably got to a point where she's like, okay, look, we're merged. I have a plan. I have my 6. We're so excited. We get through this, and then we can move on, and we can just run away with this thing. I feel like she got ahead of herself a little bit, and just got too excited. Like I do that.
Way ahead of herself.
Do you ever like go like for me? I know I learned this early on. I go and I have a great audition. I talk about it. I'm so excited about it. I share it with my mom, and my mom is in Ohio and doesn't understand that I'm probably not going to book most things I go out for, but I get so excited and I get a little bit ahead of myself, and then I'm like, it didn't happen. And it's a letdown. I feel like she got excited. She's like, oh, I finally have a shot right here, and this could be my game changer. And so she just talked about it in a moment, quickly, and boom.
But she always had a shot.
Yeah,
it's not like she had any reason to suddenly out of nowhere start showing all her cards. It was very strange to see it happen all at once.
Yeah, but I think that, I don't know, just for...
And plus, she said, not only do I think we should do this at this tribal council, but next tribal council we should also do this.
You never ever talk about next tribal council.
You don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
idea.
Going into it, it looked like Sherri. They first Phillip wanted Eddie or Reynold gone, and Corinne was like, they're not listening to me. She got everybody convinced to go for Sherri, so she got to save the boys because her and Malcolm wanted to keep Eddie, Michael, and Reynold and Erik in a 6-person alliance with her and Malcolm.
She should have been happy there.
You have the majority. Sherri's gone. Lie down. Relax. You have the numbers this week. She didn't ever need Dawn's vote. Like, she never... If they did that, if they got Sherri gone this week, it was 6 versus 5. You don't need Dawn. Why did she feel like she needed Dawn? She didn't need Dawn.
She dug her own grave.
That is the move that changed the entire game. Her going to Dawn.
I want to know what our fans think. You guys watching us on YouTube and listening to us on iTunes, first of all, I want to thank you guys for being here again. If you're watching us live or if you're watching us a week from now, whatever, I just want to thank you guys. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this, I think, could be the biggest mistake of the season? And I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Corinne had a real shot at winning this thing had she just kept her mouth shut? Or do you think that this really cost her a shot at $1 million?
Yep.
So get on iTunes, let us know, rate us while you're there, give us 5 stars, please. Tell your friends. Also get on YouTube, leave us comments there. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it again in depth next week. But I think this really could be
the biggest mistake of the season. And also look at it too. She has that 6-person alliance. They have 2 hidden idols in that alliance.
Does she know that? Does she know about both? She knows about Mike.
I'm pretty sure.
She knows about Malcolm.
I'm pretty sure Malcolm. I would guess that Malcolm told her.
I don't think so.
You don't think so about Reynolds?
No.
I don't know.
Think so
about Reynolds?
I wonder.
I doubt that Malcolm mentioned that, but she did know that Malcolm had one, and they never showed her approaching Malcolm about trying to get the idol. So she wasn't worried. She was completely blindsided.
Yeah.
Completely blindsided. Yeah. And you saw the look on her face once they got to like the 3rd or 4th vote for her. All of a sudden, then you start to do the math. You're like, I know how they count these votes on Survivor. I know that this is not looking good for me right now. You know, and the look on her face, she's kind of put her hands in her face in her hands and just. And I want to ask Jerri because Jeff said at Tribal Council, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I have to know this. Jeff said that the thing is about the favorites. The good thing is you played this game before. The bad thing is you played this game before. I was wondering that, and I wonder that a lot this season. Like, when you get, like Dawn was saying earlier, at this point in the game last time is where the wheels kind of came off. Does that go through your head? Are you thinking, I just want to make it 1 day longer than the last time? I want to make it a couple days longer. And then once you get there, is there a paranoia that sets in that the fans aren't experiencing? Because it's the first time around, they're just trying to, like, survive, and you're kind of competing against everybody else, plus your own, basically your own legacy. Is that in your head at all times?
I was just going to say, what's the question?
But no, is that something that's running through your mind?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everybody wants to do better than they did the last time in anything in life, but especially on Survivor because it's, on national television and you have something to prove to yourself plus to the other people that you played with. It's like your way of sticking it to them, like I made it, longer than Colby twice after he made it longer the first time. Yeah. And I got to tell you, there was a lot of self-satisfaction.
You played with Colby all 3 times?
I did, yes.
Oh, wow.
For some reason, CBS seems to think that we need to play the game together, but it's so not the case at all whatsoever. I mean, especially after that last season Colby just kind of like
he was good the first couple times around, but
not even the second time.
Yeah, he didn't.
Well, he still looked cute. That's really why I watch.
Yeah.
We have another caller. Who do we have on the line? This is AJ with AFTERBUZZ Survivor. Who's on the line?
Hey guys, it's Stevie.
Hi, Stevie. How are you?
Stevie had his coffee.
What's up?
I was gonna say I've been doing the Boston Rob drinking game, but I'm not as drunk as the first caller.
he was like, what is it? 2 sheets to the wind, 3 sheets to the wind. What is the saying? He was gone. He was on his way out.
He's sound asleep.
Yeah, several sheets.
So what's up? What do you think about tonight's episode?
Well, I mean, I knew that Corinne was going home from the first, 5 minutes of this. Did you guys, or am I just crazy?
I don't know.
I didn't think
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
She did get a lot of airtime.
Especially, it came down to Corinne and Sherri, and Sherri hadn't spoken the whole time.
True. I thought it was going to be, I actually was afraid it was going to be Andrea right at the beginning when she made a comment about, I thought it could be Andrea.
Did you guys, that's true. I thought that Andrea was getting, the Eliza edit of last time of favorites.
Right. So, who's your favorite right now?
Yeah.
Who do you think's playing the best game?
My favorite?
At this point.
God, I don't know.
Do you hate anybody? Is there anybody you can't stand?
An entire, dud, and I wanted to ask Jerri a specific question.
Sure.
Okay, so when you're out there, is there any kind of, I don't know how to say it, is there any kind of, consideration for it's a TV show and you're trying to not make this boring at all? I'm sure that you're going to say no, but...
Are you asking me if some people play up to the cameras?
Yeah, or you specifically.
Not me. Absolutely not. No, I was there to win $1 million. The first time I played, I was not playing up to the cameras. I gave them a lot of useful information and good sound bites. But, I just thought I was being a very honest person. I didn't realize I was rubbing people the wrong way.
And that's how she is in real life, in all fairness.
Thanks, AJ. But yeah, that's true. But yeah, there's definitely people that play up to the cameras, and it's really annoying for the rest of us who are just trying to play a real game.
Phillip.
Maybe Phillip a little bit. There's a handful of other people that I won't even give them the press by saying their name.
Right. Well, you also said that, a lot of it's about luck, which I've also always believed.
Yes.
But, in your seasons, who do you think got lucky to get, to the end?
Sandra. Sandra got really lucky.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, she did. She knows it, too. But, in my seasons, let me think about that.
Well, that's one of them.
I don't really count All-Stars because, no offense, I just didn't enjoy that season at all.
That was a rough season for us that played it, too. That was the first time that it was a very small family of survivors at the time. And so when they asked us to play, we all knew each other very well. We had spent a lot of time together. We were very good friends. We had holidays together. And so it was very personal, and that was a really difficult season for all of us just to play, let alone watch.
Right.
I can't even imagine.
I remember the Kathy, Lex, Boston Rob, that was rough to watch.
Nasty. Yeah, I was the one who suffered the consequences of that, of Boston Rob.
And Amber.
Yeah. And then there's a good example, Amber. Amber was a very lucky player because she, played with Rob, and then he... God, go back and watch that season.
Then he married her.
Yeah. Do you think the rest
he
of the
got
season's
lucky.
going to be a dud? Because I do.
Do you think the rest of this season's going to be a dud?
Jeff Probst says it's the best season ever.
No.
Well, I know, but tonight was the moment, I feel like, where it was, supposed to get interesting. And Corinne was the only person left making it really interesting, besides Cochran's one-liners and everything. You know what I mean?
That is kind of true. She kind of is the most entertaining to watch of this season so far.
She had a lot of great sound bites.
I love Brenda, but Brenda's non-existent, so...
I hate Brenda too, Jerri. I tweeted you. I'm so upset. Brenda was one of the only reasons I was excited about this season, and I'm so upset.
Are you serious? She's the reason why you were excited about this season?
She was so good on her season.
She literally
is so good on her first season.
Besides Andrea, who I'm friends with, I was excited to watch Brenda play again because I felt like Brenda could have won her season. She was so close.
She was good.
Made some little tiny...
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean is that she's not going to win, obviously, now. And
but she was such a strategist before.
She gets voted out is going to be totally boring.
Yeah, it's gonna be a boring episode.
It is hard to go into a situation where a lot of returning players are there who are very big personalities. I mean, I can understand how it could be easy to kind of fall between the cracks, but I mean, she's literally not saying anything.
You did such a good job on Heroes versus Villains. Don't even act like you didn't.
Oh, thanks. I know I did.
It is interesting, though, because
I kicked ass on that show, and I should have won. And you know what?
You did.
I will say this. My theory on the show is that whoever it is that gets voted out right before the final tribal council, that is the player that is the most dangerous in the game.
Well, right, and it's always been that way, and that's the reason they got rid of the final two, right? I mean,
I liked the final two.
I feel like everybody likes the final two. I don't understand why they've gone to the three.
Yeah,
I've never gotten it.
I don't like it when it's three.
I like to see people.
They said Corinne's not a part of the, or Jeff did not mention that he was the first member of the jury tonight. So what's happening?
Oh, hopefully
he never said that. So
we need her on the. We want her on the jury.
Wait, how many people are left?
There's 12. I know if they do the final three, that's 9 votes.
If they do the jury.
Last season they had a final 3 with 8, and the whole time I was convinced it was going to be a final 2 with 9 people on the jury, and I was shocked.
Oh, fingers crossed, Corinne's on the jury.
Remember back in the day when Jeff Probst used to leave like the island and get on like a jet ski or something and ride up into New York City or something?
Yeah.
And now he just like walks. Now he walks through like some bushes and he's just there. They don't even waste the time anymore. They don't have it in the budget.
Budget cuts. Oh, they got money in the budget. They just don't want to spend it on that.
Exactly. Well, Steve, thank you so much for calling in.
Taking my call.
Call again.
I wanted to talk to you, and I wanted to tell you also, if Ryan keeps having a great time at the white party, I'll take his chair any day.
He just got called out. I love it. You need to tweet him that right now.
Stevie, we would love to have you here.
Take care, buddy. I love how Ryan just got called out.
I'll talk to you guys next.
See you, man.
He's at the white party?
I said, babe.
Oh, my God.
For 2 weeks?
No, he ran the event. He ran the event for over a week. He was there and just exhausted out of his mind.
Exhausted?
Yeah. I will say this about Ryan. God love him. What he does really well, and he managed the heck out of that event, and it's a massive, massive event. He's just beat. He doesn't even have a voice right now.
No.
He's like lying on the couch with chicken noodle soup.
Feel better, Ryan.
Why weren't we invited?
You couldn't handle it, sweetheart. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I couldn't handle. You don't know.
Well, you and I get to go have fun this weekend together.
At the reality rally.
At reality rally.
Yeah,
rally.
I really doubt that's going to be anything like the white party.
No, probably not. But we're gonna drink some booze, so it's gonna be a good time. And Ryan will be there.
As long as there's food.
And all kinds of other survivors. I can't wait. It's a fun weekend.
There's not that many survivors there.
Jerri, you'll be there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's all they need, Jerri. Come on.
You know, the other reason I keep coming back every week is because you guys boost my ego.
Well, I love you and that brave-ass hair of yours. So, Malcolm and Corinne are plotting, and they're talking. Well, they call Sherri weird, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
I was like, what a strange word to even use.
I bet Sherri now, she's just like, even if we fast forward to what she said at Tribal Council, how she really feels the fans have no chance. I bet she's just kind of portraying, whether it's strategy or not, just this kind of like, well, got no shot, kind of giving up attitude.
I think that's how you have to act.
Yeah, which is smart if she wants to get dragged along and then make a move. But she, if we think about the first half of the season, she was the fan making every single move. Every single move, it was Sherri. So it's weird to see her flip that switch. And if she's doing it intentionally, good strategic move.
Well, I think she's a fighter, and I think that it's very intentional.
She's in survival mode.
Yes. And Eddie, Eddie and Reynold, I think, are just so clueless that they always like, well, let's hope that this one works out for us. Every week they say that. Like, well, Reynolds was like, well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
It never does.
Like, yeah, but they're still around.
Yeah.
Sherri, though, I feel like Sherri's been playing the game since day one, and I feel like she's playing smart right now. Whereas Corinne probably should have kept her mouth shut. Sherri is just playing. She's humble, and she's like, she's no dummy, because the thing is, every season you look at the tribe that's in power when you go into a merge, and even if they portray that they're strong, a strong united front, even more so than the fans, these favorites want to win. They want redemption. They want to do better than they did last time. None of them ever won this game before. They all want to this is their second shot. They've spent months, days if you're Malcolm, or months or years festering over this, wanting to get back out there on that island and get another crack at it. So if you're a fan and you've made it, you're in 4 right now. You're pretty solid 4. You know, if you choose to stick together, you almost have to by necessity. You look at those fans, the favorites, you think, a couple of them have to be ready to bail. There's 8 of them right now.
I think Sherri though got lucky tonight. I think it was 100% luck. The luck that she got was that Corinne grabbed her mouth. Sherri would have been gone if Corinne did not make the mistake. So Sherri now needs to capitalize on that. I would love to see Sherri make a move and talking to Reynold, Michael, and Eddie again and saying, listen, I'm on this side right now. Why don't we secretly work together? We're gonna have no shot unless we do something. Malcolm's on their side. They can start working some stuff.
Is Sherri aware that Malcolm is on their side? Have we seen Sherri and Malcolm?
She must know after the vote. Malcolm voted against Sherri.
But how does she know that Malcolm was the one who voted?
Well, they'll figure it out.
Yeah. Do you always?
You guys are like.
Do you always? Do you always figure it out, or you always kind of wonder?
I feel like they figured it out.
Is it something you talk about?
But here's the thing too. Sometimes they don't even read all the votes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't really wasn't counting tonight.
They did tonight.
What
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Is that something? Do you guys ever go back and be like, who voted for who? Does it ever come up like that? If it's a hot vote, do people lie?
But usually you know.
Yeah.
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 It's probably not even smart to like, so you don't want to get busted and then feel you're out next.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're if someone votes against you, you're more than likely knowing who the person was.
Yeah.
Right. So this immunity challenge, amen for this immunity challenge. P.S. I love the eating challenges, and we haven't seen one in a while. So we brought back some classic Survivor tonight. We brought back green buffs. Right, and an eating challenge. I'm a happy guy. This is a good, it was a good merge.
Widgety grubs.
Yeah, beetle larva grubs from season 1. Is the first time they used these, and they went in groups of 6, and the top 3 from each group got to move on. The first group, Malcolm, Andrea, and Eddie moved on. We thought girls were going to do so great at this.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
You did.
I thought. Yeah, I thought.
You said girls are going to do great at this.
Not,
I don't remember
verbatim.
saying that.
That was you that said that.
No, he said it. Then
you were making deep throat challenge.
No,
I did not
in
say
response.
That was not just.
Well,
I would not say that.
Maybe it was you. Obviously,
I don't remember saying that.
You don't. Now it's I don't remember saying.
I don't think I did. I did not say that.
Well, here's the thing.
I thought Andrea was going to do good, and she did.
Well, she did.
Yeah.
She had the worm mustache.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we've complained about a lot of these challenges being so physical. That where are the puzzles this season? Like we just don't see them.
And tossing. Everything is tossing.
Everything's a toss.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a good opportunity for some of the women to just, because my sister's the type, like my sister could probably out eat me. She's just like, I don't think about it, close my eyes and just go. But
have you ever had to eat anything like a bug that crawls around in your throat, and if you don't bite it at the right time, it'll probably bite the inside of your esophagus all the way down to your stomach?
Not quite like this. I've eaten some pretty disgusting stuff, but not this.
Yeah,
no way.
No, I'm not kidding you. This is probably one of the most scary challenges you can have put in front of you, especially when it's covered and you're just like, you're already like reeling, like
worst case scenario in your head.
And the cover's moving before you lift it up.
Yeah, eating challenges are horrifying. Yeah. Because you absolutely have no idea what's going to be put in front of you. There's a lot of pressure.
Can't you just go teeth first and then kill it right away and then go for it? Or how is that how you do it?
A lot of it's tough to get down, I'm sure.
But it's not like, it's not like you have something to wash it down. It's not like you saw how long they kept chewing and
there's no Listerine afterwards.
No.
See, I always think back to like the Lion King, and I'm like, oh, it looks so good, and they're eating all those bugs and stuff. So I think it looks so fun, but no,
it's not. It's probably more horrifying than anything else out there because it's just. Especially imagine looking at some slimy brains in front of you.
More horrifying than Phillip in a pair of underwear.
Yes.
The eggs and the birds.
That bird thing.
That's the worst.
Ugh. I mean, I know some places it's a delicacy, but I really will never have that.
Disgusting. Well, Malcolm, Andrea, Eddie, Cochran, Michael, and Phillip make it through the first round. And then we go down to 3 from that round. Then they have to eat the shipworms, which are just, they look like
gray, gross worms.
It looks like a handful of oysters to me. So that's the only reason I think I could get through that one.
But they're not oysters.
Yeah.
AJ, they're worms.
But the way that Malcolm, Eddie, and Cochran ate them, they looked like they were delicious. Because the speed, I can't talk.
I think they swallowed those ones.
Yeah, they started to pick up pace pretty quickly in these next rounds. By the time we got the duck embryos, though, do you remember the actual
balut or what is it called?
Beluga?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Awful. I cannot imagine. Like, this is where I'd be out.
I remember when they did that in Palau. I can visually remember Bobby John and Stephanie having to do that challenge.
Because you can see, like, feathers and veins and beaks and claws and, like, it's an actual developed bird.
Gross.
That's where I'd be done. Because I can handle, like, the slimy stuff and crunchy, whatever. Like, this... Like, I just bit off its leg. There's this beak. Because somebody actually made a comment.
Eddie said, I bit the beak first.
I bit the beak first.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's awful. And then Eddie looked like, Eddie kept looking like he was trying to, like...
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to make himself throw up.
But he's actually trying to push the bird down.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's not a good strategy.
Awful.
Don't put your fingers anywhere near your tongue because it's like it's instant gag reflex.
Right. Yeah. Well, he actually threw up some of it, and then Jeff's like, "We have to pick it up and put it back in." I'm like, "What? That doesn't seem very fair."
Yeah, it is.
No, but like who knows? Like if it's somewhere maybe you don't pick it all back up. Maybe only half of it.
Yeah.
So Malcolm and Cochran though.
Usually, if it comes up once and they get it down, it's probably gonna come up again.
I can't even imagine. Well, they both get through this round. They go to the final where they have to eat pig brains, which actually oddly looked like the easiest.
They didn't look that bad, but I'm sure they tasted disgusting.
Did you see how big the serving was, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah. I still can't imagine eating like claws and beaks and stuff though. That's got to be the worst for me.
Even just the grub. I'm not kidding. That's no.
So Cochran wins easily. Cochran, well, not easily this round. It was a close one with he and Malcolm.
He dominated the whole challenge,
but he was quick.
Yeah.
And who knew? And great for him. It's his first immunity, solo immunity win, correct?
Yeah.
He's never had one before. Then he went back to tribal or back to the campsite and was literally just like cheering for himself, jumping up and down, so ecstatic. And that's when we said earlier, Malcolm was like, it's Cochran. We're happy
and it's
for
like
him.
the fact that everybody, like if that were Phillip, or if that were Corinne, or if that were Eddie or Reynold, you go down the line.
Anyone else.
People would be like, oh, in their confessionals, he's so cocky. You don't do that with a win. But because he has that personality, that loving little brother, pal, friend role, it's perfect for him.
I feel like he and Dawn could probably both get away with that. Everybody else would be voted out right away. I feel like everybody else would be pissed because everybody wants to win. You know, it's coming down to the wire now, and Cochran's just adorable. He really is adorable.
He's endearing.
Yeah.
He's non-threatening in that way, but he's playing such a strategic game. He's playing a great game.
Yeah, he's smart.
Yeah.
He started off as a fan. He originally was on a fan versus favorite season, correct?
Yeah.
And now
so
he's
I guess
a
if
favorite.
he wins, we could say a fan wins.
Kind of. That's the best. It's the best of both worlds. Then, if he wins.
I guess. Even though all of them are fans now, but yes, he started off out of all of them coming back as like a true fan in his season, which is cool.
Did you guys know that Phillip was actually originally found in Venice roller skating?
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
In his underwear?
Not surprised.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just plucked him out of obscurity?
I guess so.
So they do a lot of these people now.
Was he homeless? Because he seems like a homeless person when he talks. I'm just saying. He was living under a bridge.
Did you know that he also came out with a book that his brother co-wrote with him? It's called The Specialist, and it is a fictional novel of which there are supposed to be several different adventures of sorts.
Great.
I saw it online,
Wow.
But he didn't even really write it. I think it was totally his brher. He just kind of like...
His brother probably needed the name recognition. And
yeah. I'm sure there'll be quite a few of those selling.
And Phillip is a superstar celebrity, so it makes sense.
Here's a question we haven't, like in terms of the Corinne and Malcolm, basically, and Erik. I think we have to clearly talk about Erik in this game because he's kind of like Brenda, where he hasn't done much or done anything, and the fact that he was confused of what was going on tonight, like the two different alliances were approaching him for his vote, and he was like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm the swing vote. I just became popular.
Yeah, and then you have Andrea and Cochran saying, maybe we can get Erik's vote. He doesn't talk strategy.
Because he doesn't have any.
Like, Erik, come on. You're this. He's one of them, too. Huge fan. He was on Fans vs. Favorites. Clearly, he made a huge mistake in Fans vs. Favorites when he gave up immunity, that far in the game when he was in the final 5.
And that's the thing. If that had not happened.
What are you doing?
If that had not happened previously, I would look at him and think, well, maybe his not talking strategy is actually a strategy.
He's
but seeing him play before, I'm like,
It's like when you get the second chance and you time and time in history proves that you don't know how to make strategic moves in games. He doesn't know how to play the game. He doesn't know how to strategize. He doesn't know how to play the game.
He looks to me like a stoner. Like he's still just high and just hanging out.
Oh, he's just like an innocent little boy.
Yeah, he looks like he came straight out of like the 1970s and like he's like, yeah, what's up? Free love. Let's all hang out on the beach. Like I feel like he has no idea what's going on.
He spent how many days with that new tribe? 6 to 9, whatever it was, with Malcolm, with those guys. The fact that he didn't vote with those guys and that alliance that he supposedly was in, what is going on? Like, what I want to know, what is going on with Erik that he didn't vote with them? Like, what did they say to him? What did they do to convince him to go the other way? And what is his thinking? Because with those guys, it seems like he has a better position on the totem pole, whereas he just jumped to this other alliance where he's clearly at the bottom.
Well, here's the thing. I look at it this way. If you really want to play genius, I feel like he could switch for this one vote get rid of Corinne, because Corinne is a little bit more of a threat than Phillip or than some of these, like in the Sherri. I feel like if it were me, switch for a vote and be like, look, guys, I'm coming right back to you. Let's throw them off. They're going to think that I'm going to be with them because I voted once with them, and I'm coming right back.
That's a tough one to pull, though.
Yeah. Because then you lose trust.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah, because they were all with Corinne, so they're going to be anti anybody who voted against Corinne.
You think?
It's the boys club
It's
without
hard.
Erik.
That'd be a hard sell. Hard to believe somebody telling you that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cool thing about being the swing vote, because I was in that position in Heroes and Villains. You can either just sit back and do what everyone tells you to do, amen, or you can say, look, I know that if I go with you guys, I'm at this point. So let's talk a little bit about where I fit into this.
Yeah, I'm number 5 with you, but number 4 with them, or whatever.
So go back and forth, figure out what your best option is before you just go jumping into a vote.
And I would pretty much bet he did not do that.
It sounded like he had no intention of doing anything.
Which is just frustrating. It's so sad. Come on, Erik.
I hope that he's learned some lessons and he's playing a better game right now. It just doesn't look like it yet.
If Erik and Brenda ended up in the final 2,
Can you imagine?
I might never watch Survivor
I'd be so
again.
happy. I'd be so happy. I love Brenda. I love Brenda.
I don't know who Brenda is.
Nobody does. Nobody does. So they head to tribal.
I'm sure I'm going to bump into her all over the place now. She's going to be like, Jerri!
Jerri, how dare you? You're like, who are you?
I'll be like, bring it on. Let me see something. Give me something to work off of here.
So before they go to tribal, though, is when Corinne makes this huge epic mistake. She tries to flip things up, and she's got the vote for tonight, but then she tries to talk about next week, which is just a bad idea for the next vote.
Never talk about that part in the future.
What are you doing?
Well, they go to tribal, and even at tribal, though, I wasn't completely sure how it was going to go. I thought there could be a tie, but then I was looking at the time. If you're a Survivor fan, you understand this. I'm like, oh, there's only 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a tie because
there's no tiebreaker.
There's no time to draw rocks or revote or build a fire. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was a little bit nervous for Corinne because obviously the first 4 or 5 votes all went to Sherri, and whenever that happens, you know it's going the other way. And it was
even
Corinne.
before the votes, it was like even the way they were answering questions, the way Reynold and Corinne were answering questions, it was like, you guys are morons. Like, Reynold said, oh, you know, the fans may be not in a good position, but there's things in the work, you know.
Yeah, don't say stuff like that.
What do you say? And then Corinne, you know, it's like a punch in the face, you know, or it's just like,
and then when they're saying to Corinne, who was it that said to Corinne, like, I'd be nervous if she wasn't so honest.
Yeah.
When somebody says that to you, when they're that, like, if they're that overly like, oh, yeah, I totally respect you for saying this right now, then you know they're getting ready to stab you in the back. Yeah. Like, there's no way, like, you have to be leery of those things.
Oh, that and when Jeff talks to you in tribal council.
Yeah. You just want to hide?
If he starts asking you questions, you're like, oh, no.
Is that true? Like, you just want to kind of hide?
Yeah, well, you're just like, something's going to happen and it has something to do with me. That's why he's asking me questions.
Yeah.
Now, tribal's obviously hours long. Is there pretty much an even spread, or is it not an even spread in terms of...
No, they definitely zone in on the 2 people that are up.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
They do. I mean, and then of course they sprinkle some other things, and someone will say something, interject, whatever. But sometimes you can tell in tribal council, like, oh boy, he's asking me a lot of questions.
Well, I think it's exciting that for the first time in a while, no fans have gone home. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and we got a blindside. That was fun to get a blindside.
Yeah,
yay, blindside.
I wasn't glad it was Corinne, but I'm not so attached to her. Like, I liked her, but I wasn't like.
She's entertaining.
Exactly. She's like a top 5 for me, so I can deal with that one as long as Brenda's still in there. Brenda, you got to come through for me. I love you so much.
Give it up, AJ.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. She's going to save the season. No?
Not at all.
Anyways, predictions for next week. What do you think is going to go down?
We saw in the preview Malcolm approaching Dawn.
Yes.
Dawn's the player that everybody keeps going to this season to get the swing, get the swing. I don't think Dawn will crack and go with them. That's not going to happen.
Do you think it's a fan or a favorite going home next week?
I think it'll be Eddie.
It's a good one, actually.
Eddie.
Because Malcolm and Reynold have their idols.
Right. Jerri.
And he was flirting with Andrea.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'll go with Eddie.
I'll
go with a favorite.
I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go.
Michael.
Oh, my Lord. Here goes.
Uh-oh.
Phillip.
Phillip.
Yeah, I really think they're going to flip back.
No way.
I think Sherri's going to wise up and realize that.
No way.
Well, she really does not like Phillip, and I love that about
She can't stand. And this is her chance to get rid of him.
That is the redeeming factor that she went with him this round, and hopefully Sherri comes back with vengeance.
She went with him, but she still can't stand him. So I think that if she's going to make a move, because she is a smart player, and I think she's playing smart right now.
Yeah, but who would she get to vote with her?
The other
go back to the other side.
Alliance, the other side.
What, Reynold and Eddie?
And Malcolm.
They need their vote.
They don't like her, though.
Yeah, they don't like her either.
But they don't like Phillip even more.
Put aside your personal vendettas against these people and vote with them.
Listen, I think she's playing the game. That's about all the time we have for today. But we'll have to tune in next week to find out, you guys. You guys, thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate all your support. We love you guys so much. Where can our fans follow you on Twitter?
Justin F. Walter.
Fantastic. Jerri.
Yeah. At Jerri Manthey on Twitter or Jerri Manthey 2 on Facebook.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at _AJ Gibson. Please check out my website, ajgibson.tv. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're all huge fans. We love having you here. We look forward to next week. Take care, you guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.